Hi everyone. I think everyone should be in now. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Very well.
Cool. Okay, perfect. Well, we'll get cracking straight away because I don't want to eat up too much time. So just before we get going, if you're not already, just pop yourself on mute, just while we're speaking through. We're going to record as well, so if you didn't want your video used, then do just turn your camera off. And also any questions, then please do pop them in the chat as Candice is going through. So thanks to Candice for coming along and talking to us. So you do the social media for Artisanery, and you also run a travel adventure blog as well.
That's correct. Yes.
So I'll let you take it away, Candice. Thank you.
Great, cool. Hi everybody. It's nice to be able to see everyone's faces in live action. Yeah, as Nick mentioned, my name's Candice. I am a freelance content creator, and I also have a travel blog which focuses on digital nomad and surfing as niche areas of information. So I'm going to share my screen. I've put a little presentation together. If you can let me know once you guys can see my screen. Yep. Cool. Awesome. Oh gosh, sorry. That wrong button. Okay, so today we're going to be chatting just a little bit. I mean, you can spend hours discussing social media, but I'm just going to touch on a few things of how to grow your social media audiences and some tips and tricks for social media marketing. So especially in a time when everything's digital and we're all on lockdown, and social media is one of the few ways that you can directly engage with your audiences. It's a very powerful marketing tool for all sorts of businesses. And it's also synonymous with creativity in many ways, which kind of give artisans the upper hand because you guys are already creatives and you already know how to, communicate in different ways. So social media is a really great way to harness your creativity and showcase your work. This little graph here shows the how social media has grown in importance of business in the UK since 2012 to today. So we're in the middle of a very exciting time. So I put together five steps to get you started, because to have effective social media, it's all about going back to basics, and then a few suggestions to keep the momentum going once you've got it. So the first step is to have a plan. A lot of people just find a nice picture and post it online and think that that's going to make magic happen. And unfortunately, you need to give a little bit more thought into this. So you need to identify what your goals are. What are you trying to achieve with your social media? Are you wanting to make sales? Do you want to get your brand identity built up? Are you trying to showcase your products? So are you trying to advertise an event or an exhibition? So you need to know, what do you want your goals to be for posting on social media? Then you need to figure out, what is your brand? What is your brand identity? What is your mission? For example, the Pottery of Leith has got quite a strong message about, supporting mental health. That's quite a nice mission to mix in with your pottery, for example. So these are the kind of things that you want to think about before you go and you create your social media profile. The next step is to pick a social media platform to focus on. So you need to identify your audience and determine how they will be engaging with your content. Each social media platform has its very own unique purpose and value. What you post on LinkedIn will not be what you'll post on Twitter, for example. So you need to decide, who are your audience? What is your goal for your audience? What is your mission? And what do you want to communicate to your audience? And that will determine what platform you're going to invest most of your time and your energy on. My top tip is to choose one or two of these platforms and avoid spreading yourself too thin, because you don't want to be spending a lot of time on Twitter when that's actually not relevant to your audience or your goal at all. So this is just a little meme that's been going around, and it shows a profile picture and how it's the same person, but you kind of adapt your profile picture depending on the social media you have. So here your LinkedIn is a little bit more professional, Facebook is a little bit more day-to-day, Instagram, you try and make yourself look as cool as you can, and then Tinder, obviously that's not really relevant, but it just kind of shows how you can adapt the same message, the same persona differently on different platforms, and they will then be received differently by your audience. So just to quickly, you guys probably know most of this, but Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, LinkedIn, sometimes Snapchat, these are all very popular social media platforms. Twitter, for example, is a great choice for real-time updates. For artisans, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, these are all really good platforms to invest in because they're very visual. You can upload videos, you can showcase your work, and you also have the opportunity to do a bit of a write-up and link back to your website. So yeah, like I said, so choose one or two platforms to really invest your energy in and run with it from there. So now that you know what your audience is, what platform you want to focus on, the third step is to post consistently. So post content that is similar in look and feel. Be consistent in your imagery and your messaging, and post at similar times of day. I've put an example on the side here. You can see this page is beautiful. It's all got the same colors. It's got the same look and feel. And even though the content changes a little bit and showcases different aspects of the brand, it kind of all ties together just through that aesthetic. So being consistent in what you post and when you post is good for the social media algorithms. The platform will know when you're posting and will start to rank you in a certain way. And it also helps to grow your brand and manage your audience expectations. So posting consistently is a great way to engage with your audience quite regularly. Now, this is probably the most important step, the fourth step. Engagement is key. You're trying to grow your social media audience, then you need to engage with them. There's several ways that you can do this. You can encourage people to comment or engage on your post with a caption. So this could be through a giveaway. You could say, this is what I created today. What are your thoughts? These are all different ways that you can encourage people to comment on your post, engage on it, like it, share it. You can actually blatantly ask people to do this in the caption along with your image. You can also allocate some time to engage with your audience and follow your target audience and others in the community. So like posts that are relevant. If someone's liking your post, go and like their post back, reply to comments, and actually engage with your audience, as well as the communities that you're involved in, whether you're part of any Facebook groups or whether you're part of such as Artisanery. That is a great community of artisans that you can engage with one another. And this really is good for building an audience, engaging with your audience. You also want to make sure that you respond to messages and comments. You don't just want to post a picture and then leave your platform alone, or post a post on Facebook and leave it. Check your inbox. Check if you've got message requests. Answer these queries. You never know. People could be asking how they can make a bulk order of your special prints. And you'll never know if you don't, go in and make the effort to check your comments and your messages. So this is also an important way, a great way to grow your audience and engage with them. You can also tag relevant groups, people, and associations in your posts. This brings their awareness to your brand, and maybe they'll share it. And this is called like cross-pollinating audiences. So if you tag a certain association, they may share it on their page, other people see it on their page and then follow you in turn. So this is a great way to grow your audience as well. And in the same way that you're going to tag other people, you can encourage other people to tag you. So you can ask for it again. You don't ask it, you don't receive unless you ask. So go ahead and ask people to tag you in their posts. And then also another way to grow your audience and engage with them is to participate in Facebook groups. Leave comments on people's posts, put questions out there, ask for advice, offer advice. The artisan community is strong when they're united. So go ahead and play around, get your brand known, get yourself known, and people will follow you in turn, especially if you offer some value. So give people a reason to follow you and engage with you. So in the same way that being consistent is good for algorithms and building a brand, so is engagement. The more that you engage, the more that the social media platforms rank you. It shows that you're more valuable to their audience and their community, and they will rank you higher. So engagement is the most important thing. The fifth step is to look at your analytics. So most social media platforms offer free analytic tools, which can be very insightful. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. All of these social media platforms have very valuable analytics. And by looking at these once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month even, you can find out the best time to post. Post when your audience is online so that it doesn't get lost in a very long news feed. So it shows you when's the best time to post. what demographic your main audience is. You may think that you're posting to Glasgow, but actually the people that are most interested in your content are in London, you know. So get to know your audience a little bit better through these insights. You may think you're posting to a predominantly male audience, but maybe it's actually the females that are engaging with your content a little bit more. And this will affect how you word your messaging, how you caption your pieces, and so on. It also shows you which type of posts perform best. So maybe people are more interested in your videos. Maybe they're more interested in your, you know, when you've got the camera on yourself, when you're in your shots. Maybe they prefer nicely framed pieces. So you'll see a trend on what type of posts people are engaging in. And you can post more of these type of posts and, you know, increase engagement even more. So apply these findings that you get from analytics to future posts that you do, and you can also grow your audiences in this way. So those are your 5 main steps from the basics to looking at your analytics, and the cycle kind of continues. You're constantly refining the process. And then just to close off, I've got a few tips to keep the momentum going. Rinse and repeat, so to speak. So focus on visuals. As mentioned, you guys are creatives and you have the advantage of being able to communicate creatively. So most social media platforms are quite visual. That's why people keep on scrolling. So make your posts as visual as you can. This can be in the form of video. Video is also very engaging. Video encourages a lot of engagement. If you have a bit of budget, you can also look into advertising. This increases your exposure. And most of the time you can actually get a good return on those people, especially if you caption your advertising correctly and you boost a post which encourages people to follow you or runs a competition, you know. So be smart about how you do it, but most of the platforms have advertising options that don't require a very big budget at all. Then you need to pay attention to your profile. So as much as visual brand consistency is important, make sure your profile at the top of your Instagram, at the top of your Facebook is quite strong. Describe who you are, what you stand for. Let people know once they've arrived straight away what they can expect from you. It's also a great place to put your website, if you have one. Tell people exactly how they can order your work or how they can engage with you further. I missed one here. Take advantage of trending hashtags and create your own. So maybe there's a creative hour, you know, jump on board of that creative hour, add the hashtag and become involved in the trend. Or you can create your own trend. So we've got Meet Your Makers at Artisanery, and that's something that we do every time, so that if anybody ever wants to search a certain hashtag, they'll be able to find a lot of content related to that one hashtag. So also another thing is a lot of people keep their profiles on private, which is not that smart if you're wanting to grow your audience, because it's a whole process of having, for example, on Instagram, they have to request to follow, and then you have to accept that request. And that extra step can immediately turn people away. It's a small step, but rather if you keep your profile in public, it makes it a lot more easier for people to stumble across your profile and to follow you. And then most importantly, don't buy followers. As much as you want to grow your audience, it's not worth it. It's not organic, and your engagement is not going to be good. There's no point in having 600 followers or 6,000 followers and only 1% engagement. It doesn't look very good. So if I can give you one bit of advice, it's don't buy your followers. And that's, in a nutshell, just 15 minutes overview on how you can really build a brand and engage with your audience in some easy steps that you don't need to be professional to apply.
That was that was brilliant. Thanks, Candice. I'm so surprised you managed to get everything in with so much detail. So thank you very much. Did anyone have any questions for Candice just there? No.
Sorry, I did have a question, Candice, and I think partly question and partly statement. When I look at an Instagram profile and I don't find, the point that you raised about having your details right on the top. And one of the things that I struggle with is when people don't write which part of the world they are in. While I would like to engage with global audience, as an example of Artisanery, we are at the moment building a very UK specific audience. And I find it quite challenging when people don't have it. And I think it is quite key, I suppose, to be able to write where you are from and how to get in touch with somebody on the first go. So if I was a customer buying it and if I had to wait a long time or go through different steps to find how to buy your stuff or to get in touch with you, it won't be particularly pleasant. So as a journey, the point that you made about having your profile and your information really upfront so that somebody can get in touch straight away is really, really key. I suppose that was one thing that really strikes me when we are trying to build our own viewership and our own following.
Yeah, and I mean, there is a space to put a website as well. So, take advantage of these different tools that social media gives you. They give you so many ways that you can grow your audience and let yourself be known and build a brand. And they're just waiting to be taken advantage of. Just discover them, So yeah, location is quite important, especially if you're trying to sell your craft or your products that you're creating as well. You don't want to be having people interested like in India, and then it's a little bit difficult to get them to them.
And I suppose the other point that you made was about oh god, I've just had a mental block. I've just forgotten what it was about to say. Oh, I do apologize. I'll have to come back to it. Nick, I'm going to let you take over. I just can't remember what I was about to say.
No problem at all. In terms of oh yeah, go for it, Rosario.
No. Just go for it, Nick. I have a question later, but you go on first.
Okay, we'll come back to Rosario just now. In terms of targeting ourselves on audience and engagement, is that something we should be doing? Should we be setting ourselves clear goals, or is it just too open-ended to be able to do that, Candice?
I think, yeah, that's one of the setting your goal. Like I said, you need to figure out what you want to achieve. There are a few people that actually want to create an exclusive type of thing, and they don't want to grow their audience necessarily. They kind of want to remain as this exclusive thing, which I don't think is the case for anybody here. But it's a great idea to have set goals and stuff like that. And there are definite steps that you can, and you'll watch your audience grow the more that you engage with them, and that boils down to engagement. But maybe that's not your goal. Maybe your goal isn't to grow an audience. Maybe your goal is to make sales, in which case your goal is still quantitative, but it's based on revenue, not on followers. So there's a lot of brands that I don't follow, but they come up with sponsored posts, and I'm not going to follow them, but I hear about deals and products that they have on sale based on these sponsored posts. So I might not follow them, but their posts are still beautiful, and I come across them on my feed, and it converts into a sale. So it goes back to one of the first steps, which is to decide what your goals are. If your goal is to create an increased audience and an increased following, you can say that. Say, hey, follow me, and we'll do this or we'll do that, or share this post with a friend and tag 2 friends and follow and share to your story, and I'll be giving away this print. Those are the kind of things that if you want to create your goal, then you can set goals for yourself. It is open-ended, but you can set goals totally for yourself.
Brilliant. And it's like you say, not focusing solely on followers or that side of things. It's the engagement as well, how much people are interacting with you.
And that's very important. I don't think people realize how important engagement is. The way that the algorithms work on social media is that the more engagement, the more they feature you. So the more likes you have, the more you're viewed as valuable to that community. And by community, I mean everybody on Instagram or everybody on Facebook. And so they put your posts first. So if you have 6,000 followers, like I said, there's no point in having 6,000 followers if you only have 20 likes on a picture, because you're not going to get placed on people's feeds, and you're not going to get that engagement.
Oh, brilliant. So Rosario, did you want to ask your question just now?
Oh yeah, thank you. That was great. Thank you very much. And I have a couple of questions. I hope maybe the first one is not stupid. So still on the topic of engagement. So I have an Instagram profile. I'm a visual artist. I'm a painter. When I look at other profiles, artists have their own photo, and some other artists have of one of their products. A painting, or if there's a graphic designer you know, they have a design. What do you think is best? Because that's, as the profile is important, I presume also your identifying photo.
So like I said, once again, this goes back to your goals. What do you want to achieve? How do you want to present your brand? So you're going to attract the audience depending on what you put out there. So if you want to put yourself out there and you want to present yourself as the painter behind, you know, the art, then that's what you should go for, and you should own it, and you should create content that repeats this almost, you know, include yourself in your art. Some people don't want to have a face to the art. They just want the art. That's their choice. That's their goal. That's their brand that they're building. Then go for it and own it. So whatever route you decide to go, there's no right or wrong way. You know, a lot of people do want to see the face behind the people that are creating creating the beautiful art, in which case that's amazing. Other people just want to see the art. There's too many people in the world to please them all, you know? So decide on your, go back to the basics, decide on your goal, your brand, what you want to communicate, and what kind of audience you want to attract and what you want to achieve, and then roll with it and be confident as you roll with it. And then go back to your analytics and see, maybe every now and then, I know you're talking about profile pictures, but every now and then maybe you include yourself in a shot that you post, and you find that those posts are actually doing a lot better than the other ones. Then do more of that. Just, it's a rinse and repeat cycle, but just, you know, figure out what it is that you want to achieve and take the steps needed for that.
And I guess there's no harm in really just going out and trying everything and giving it a go and just sort of working through it.
Actually, I remember my question. It was much on the lines of what Rosario was asking. There are accounts and profiles that I see where people have mixed information of themselves, their family, nothing to do with the art or nothing to do with the creative process involved. And then they have, I don't know, they're a porter, they'll have a wheel, you know, pieces that they've done, and then very normal family personal pictures. Is that a good idea? I mean, I suppose that's one step ahead of what Rosario was asking. I can understand. Yeah. I think I would like to see the maker behind the picture. But is it sensible to actually have all of that as well?
So I wouldn't recommend it personally. If you are going to, so actually that's something I didn't mention. For Instagram specifically, you can make your profile a business profile, which gives you access to these analytics. And that's actually one of the first steps that you should do to get these analytics. I'll add that to the slides, and then we can distribute that if you want. But if you're going to have a business profile, just remember you are still presenting yourself as a business and a brand. And if you want to showcase your family and your children and stuff, I mean, you can, but you're diluting the message. You know, if you want to achieve a goal, you should stay focused on that goal. What a lot of people do, if you want to showcase the face behind the brand in a more detailed way, and it's something that we do with our blog, is we have our blogging page, our blogging Instagram page, and in the bio, we've added the handle to our personal page. So you can do that in the same place where you put your website. You can have Artisan Co, and then you can have your personal profile in that description, so that if people do want to go and see, you know, a little bit more about the life of the artist, they can do that. But I wouldn't dilute too much your product and stuff. I would rather save that more personal approach if you're going to do it on your business page for your stories, something that kind of, if people are following you, they get these nice little sneak peeks into your life. But if people land on your page, they should be able to see what you're trying to achieve, you know.
I guess having them link backs to personal pages and things, it gives the business profile a sense of credibility because it's linking to a person. But if you're continually posting personal stuff on your business page, then it lacks credibility. Almost.
Yeah, it's very much dilutes the message, I think. Yeah,
for sure. Brilliant. Did anyone else have any questions just now? Then?
I had just one more thing on the hashtags. I think we sometimes we quite often forget how important hashtags are, and for everybody, I suppose, Candice, a bit around what different hashtags for different people, as you said, maybe a very good idea for everybody to go and find the hashtags that work best for them, and also to tag similar posts when they're doing it, and just so that you get the right audience more than anything else. Something really, really important to remember. And every platform, the hashtag's different as well. So once you've selected the platforms you work on, then it may be a good idea to look at that in detail and figure out what works for you.
And just a note on that, a simple Google search is so easy. You can literally type in hashtags for pottery on Instagram, and you will come up with lists and lists of relevant trending hashtags. And you can actually go onto an app and the social media platform, and you can start typing hashtag, and often it will auto-populate with what's trending. So, I mean, social media is really making it so easy for us if we just take advantage of these little, boosts that they give us.
That's it. And with the hashtags, is there any reason why you shouldn't put, or is there any downside to putting on too many?
So each platform does have a recommended number of hashtags. They say on Facebook you should have 2 to 3.
Right.
On Instagram you can have a little bit more. On Twitter, obviously, you're limited by the character count. I would also, something to avoid is sometimes they can blacklist a hashtag. I mean, I'm getting a little bit technical now, but sometimes they can blacklist a hashtag if it's used too often and the content is found to be irrelevant. Right. Because the social media apps are actually trying to protect their the users as well. So there are recommended numbers of hashtags for each platform. And again, a quick Google search can let you know what exactly it is. Mostly it's 2 to 3 on like Facebook, Pinterest, and then Instagram can have a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, we are just about running out of time, so I will finish up there. Thanks for coming along, Candice. That was brilliant. We've got our final virtual coffee in the series, again on social media, this time looking more specifically at social media marketing and how we market to our audience. So join us next week for that. That's going to be at 3:30 next week instead of 3 o'clock. So 3:30 till 4. And we're joined by a lady from a social media marketing agency for that. So yeah, get involved there. It's on the Facebook group. But thanks again, Candice, and thanks to everyone for coming along. And we'll hopefully see you all next week.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheerio.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.